Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 4. Babe, what are we doing on this episode?
Well, first we're going to address the elephant in the room. Why in the world did we take like 6 weeks off?
Yes, we're not very consistent with our podcasting.
We're like the world's worst podcasters.
Oopsies.
I'm so sorry for all of our dedicated listeners who are more dedicated than us.
Yes. Well, you know what? We're back.
Yeah, we're
Again.
back. We're back again. And we're excited to be here.
Yep. So what are we doing on this episode?
We are going to talk about, we're going to do our typical hospitality tip.
Nice.
And then we're going to share a recipe that I worked on recently and really enjoyed. And
pretty
then our main topic for today is handling the highs and lows of B&B ownership, which I feel like is appropriate.
That's going to be a great one.
Yeah. So here we go.
Let me play my guitar.
Awesome.
All right, so hospitality tip. What do we got today?
You tell me.
No, I want you to do it.
Okay. We are going to talk about using high quality bedding and towels because at a bed and breakfast, I feel like a lot of times it's really important to have high quality linens. And we really enjoy being able to provide high quality linens because nobody wants to sleep on like a dingy set of sheets.
No.
You know what I mean? And they don't want towels that
are rock
raggedy.
hard or nasty. Yeah.
So as soon as a towel gets a stain on it that we cannot get out here, it's in the trash.
Or it becomes my shop towel.
Yeah. Or it becomes a shop towel. Yeah. Or like a cleaning rag.
Yeah.
Or
Depending on the stain.
Depending on the stain.
I mean, you can imagine.
Yes.
We get some stains. So
Yeah.
bodily fluid stains out the door.
On everything.
That gets thrown away. But like, say someone spills, I don't know, Kool-Aid. Do people drink
Nobody
Kool-Aid?
drinks Kool-Aid.
Gatorade. I don't know.
I was thinking like a mascara stain. Like,
Yeah.
like those sometimes.
Makeup stains. That
Yeah.
becomes the shop towel.
Yeah.
But like blood,
Absolutely not.
throw that sucker
Trash.
out. It's terrible.
Yeah. When it comes to pillows too, I know I've mentioned this on our Instagram page before, but I do think it's important to have a variety of pillow options for your guests. So we typically put one firm, thinner pillow on the bottom, and then on top of that pillow, we put a really plush, nice, soft pillow.
Softy and hard.
Yeah, that way, they can choose. Like,
Yes.
Really, they have 6 pillows on every bed. And a throw pillow. So there's
Choose your own adventure.
Yeah.
Choose your own pillow time.
Your own pillow adventure.
Yes.
So, yeah. And I think we've gotten a lot of comments about that because I think, especially like at Airbnbs, I've noticed this even with like our travels too. You get 2 pillows on the bed. One, you know what I mean? Like very rarely in like a regular home setting do you have more than just 1 pillow per head.
Yeah.
And I think it just offers a little bit more luxury to guests who want something a little bit different.
Yeah.
Or like I'm one of those people who likes to sleep with a pillow in between my knees.
You are a pillow knee pillower. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I don't know why I enjoy that so much, but it's nice. I got bony knees, I guess. It feels good when there's a pillow in between them.
Yeah.
So I like a soft pillow on my head, and then that thinner pillow is great for, you side sleepers out there.
Yeah.
So
Well,
anyway.
it's nice too because I feel like you like a firm pillow, right?
I'm softer than you.
Oh, is it? Do
You
I like the firm?
You like firm.
I don't even know what I like. That's the story of life, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But
Well-
I do think that having quality towels, whether you're a bed and breakfast owner or you're just somebody who likes to host in your own home, having a guest room that has plenty of options for your guests. And plenty of linens because not everybody uses the same amount of towels during their stay. So we have some people who are like, no, I need a fresh towel every single day. And then I have some people who are like, no, I'm staying for 2-3 nights. Like I can use the same towel and just hang it up. So yeah, just put ample amounts of linens in there because nobody wants to have to ask for a towel, especially if they like forget to ask you for a towel and then they've already taken the shower and now they're freezing in your bathroom. So just make sure you have nice quality towels in your rooms because I think guests really appreciate it.
It's very helpful.
Yeah.
All right, so our recipe
today
for this episode
is a bacon and brie frittata. And Joel, what did you think of this?
10 out of 10. Maybe even like a 12 out of 10.
Dang.
It's so good.
That's pretty high for you.
Yeah, well, you can't go wrong with frittata. Actually, you can go wrong.
You can go very
frittata.
wrong with a frittata.
But this frittata, it's the jam.
Yeah, sometimes I struggle with quiches because we do have a lot of like gluten-free guests and the crust. I don't know that I've perfected enough like a gluten-free crust for a quiche that actually tastes good and doesn't get too soggy under the egg mixture. And so a frittata, especially if you're dealing with people with allergies, it could be a really good option for breakfast. This one is so creamy because of that brie cheese. You make it all in the same cast iron skillet. So you just chop up that bacon, you cook it right in the cast iron skillet, and then top it with that egg cheese mixture. And it is absolute gold.
It's fantastic.
It is so good. And then you finish it in the oven after the egg mixture starts to set for a little bit. Stick it in the oven in that cast iron skillet, let it puff up. And then, yeah, depending on the size, we did like a smaller one, but thicker. Yeah. So I think ours was the 8-inch or 10-inch that we used.
I think so.
But it was so good. Oh my gosh.
You made the bacon with like garlic, right?
Yeah, sauteed it with some garlic. It was so good.
I think that's what made it fantastic.
Really?
Yeah, because you get like that garlic flavor with the saltiness of the bacon. You get the brie, that cream that you're talking about. It just makes it great. I feel like a frittata too is kind of like the chili of breakfast dishes where you can throw anything in frittata.
Will it frittata?
Yeah. I feel like maybe this could be a thing for us. I don't know. Who knows?
The series, Will It Frittata?
I mean, in 6 months when we drop our next episode, we'll have maybe another frittata. And correct me if I'm wrong too. I'm just gonna go on,
You're on a roll today.
with the frittatas are round.
Spicy.
Some might say I'm on a frittata roll. That didn't work. I tried.
It fell flat.
It did fall flat. We need like a wah, wah, wah. Anyway, didn't the Romans eat frittatas?
I have no idea.
Wasn't that like part of their breakfast? Like bread, frittatas?
I have no clue.
I feel like anyone who's listening who knows ancient Roman history, please fact check me and get back to us.
You think they had bacon and brie in it in ancient Rome?
Probably not. You know what?
Maybe some good veggies. I do like a veggie-filled frittata too, but sometimes not everybody likes mushrooms and broccoli and peppers in eggs. And when I've done that in the past, people are like, oh, veggies. I feel like when people are on vacation, they just want like the bacon, egg, and cheese. I don't know. Did you just look this up?
My associates in history came through. Yes, according to Google, my quick Google, the ancient Romans did eat dishes similar to modern day frittatas, known as
proud.
Patine, Patine. It's Latin.
Wow. Okay.
It's an egg-based dish cooked in a pan. Wow.
I love how you screamed that. They cooked it in a pan.
I was very excited.
I am excited.
It had cheeses, vegetables, and meat. I'm sure it's probably close to what we're eating today.
That's awesome. Well, cool. So we all learned something together there.
Apparently, if you try to create like the ancient Roman version, according to this blog, the spices are a little bit harder to find because they're not quite sure exactly what.
And they can't post anything on the internet that's not true.
Yeah, who knows? But hey, here we are.
Amazing.
Little ancient Roman facts.
Woo! I love that.
Yep.
Okay, so look at that. Egg hospitality from ancient Rome. We're recreating it today in our own kitchen.
You are stepping back 2,000 years when you're eating frittata.
And you're never going to eat a frittata the same now. You're welcome.
Yeah. I don't think Brie's from France.
Yeah.
The Romans controlled France. But who knows if Brie was around.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, this one is really great with bacon and brie. And all that to say, frittatas have been around for a very, very long time.
Yes.
And if you want to eat as the Romans eat,
When
come
in
on north and eat a frittata at Joel and Britt's B&B.
When in Rome.
Okay, so we're going to talk about how to handle the highs and lows of B&B ownership. And I feel like the reason we have not been, podcasting.
Yes.
I feel like spring for us, really like winter and early spring, because I feel like the tail end of spring gets pretty busy, but we are fairly dead.
Yes.
In March and April, especially.
Yes.
March is like the worst month. I think it's because everything outside smells like the color brown.
Everything smells and looks
like
the color brown.
There's just mud everywhere. There's sticks everywhere. There are no leaves on the trees. Everything is ugly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hate March. It's my least favorite month.
Some might call it the season of the sticks.
You know what? Some might. My good friend Noah.
You know him?
Once said.
Just kidding.
Anyway, yeah, I feel like when we hit the season last year, we were like, oh my gosh, are we going to make it through till June when the guests come back? And I feel like this is probably the same with any business. And I mean, we've run a couple of businesses now, so I feel like this is just the way that it works a lot of times. And I mean, Joel and I are very much in the like rebuilding stage right now where we're creating something new, and it takes years to establish yourself as a business. And even if you're taking over an existing business, it's not like you just wake up one morning and you're like, okay, great, this is amazing. Because especially with a bed and breakfast, because a lot of times people are coming for the innkeepers and they know you. And so what Holly did before us is not what we do. What David and Jim did before her is not what she did. And so every time a bed and breakfast owner takes over, naturally some people were only coming because they really liked Holly, or they were only liked David and Jim. And so convincing people to come back is a challenge for any bed and breakfast. And I'm sure we're not alone in that. I'm sure every bed and breakfast probably experiences this when they change ownership.
And I think that's any kind of business too.
Yeah, totally.
Especially
you get to know
when
the
it's
owners.
Small business, it's based around, certain individual, and that individual is now gone. It's like, do I want to go back to that place? Because I became friends with that person. Or,
right.
I'm thinking like coffee shops, if a dude starts a coffee shop and gets everyone in and he becomes that local coffee shop guy, and then he sells the coffee shop, it's naturally going to change.
Totally. Yeah. So I think in this season of rebuilding what is now the Park Street Inn, it's come with a lot of highs and a lot of lows. And I think that we are finally learning what it means to not burn out, and setting some pretty deliberate boundaries around work.
Because this job can feel like a 24/7 gig. I mean, because you're up early making breakfast, you're taking care of guests, you're then cleaning afterwards, you're, maintaining the property. Then you have check-in, and then people come in late, they come in early. It's like constant.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that we've wrestled with. Like in the early days, you and I were getting breakfast every morning together, nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
Both of us getting up super early and going to bed super late.
Right.
And we realized that maybe we should do an every other day thing, where you take breakfast on a Monday and I'll take breakfast on Tuesday.
Right.
And then we flip-flop, and then that helps us not feel so much burned out, because then we're at least having some kind of schedule.
Right.
Or like communication-wise, we have a little bit more of a, like, I may take more emails one day. You may take more text message one day. Like, just small things to help us feel like we're not just on the clock 24/7.
Yeah, diversifying our roles a little bit, I think, has been really helpful.
Yeah.
Of like, here are the things that you're in charge of, and here are the things I'm in charge of. And I think when you work with your spouse, it can be easy to just, I don't know, everybody does everything. Or you end up in like survival mode where, I don't know, where you just end up, I know for us in the past, it's been like, well, I can't rest if I watch Joel work, and he can't rest when he sees me running around like a chicken with my head cut off. Like, and there are times when we can step in for each other, but also giving each other space and time to like actually rest and take time off.
Yeah.
Has been really critical in this season. Luckily in the winter and spring, we can take time off, and we can also set aside, usually Wednesdays are days that we completely take off. And we've even blocked off a few, like in our back end reservation system this year, just to give us a little bit of time to breathe in between guests.
Yeah. So if you own a B&B or Airbnb, it's okay to block off some days.
Yeah.
Don't feel like you have to keep open 24/7
right.
for the potential of a guest. Because in your off season, there's a high chance that like no one's going to show up on a random Tuesday. Like I've seen places that are like only weekends.
Which is honestly smart.
Spring and winter. And we're kind of leaning that way.
Yeah, we are. Because, I mean, it's a lot to put out continental breakfast and everything for one person who may not even eat breakfast.
Yeah.
You prepare all of this stuff, and then it's a guest on like a Monday night, and then they leave super early. Or like,
yeah,
I don't know. And then you're like, okay, well, I got up and I put all this stuff out, and I cleaned the rooms, and, you know, I prepped everything, and I provided everything that we usually do, and I baked cookies, and then by the time it's done, it's like, was it worth $150? Maybe. I mean, yeah, it was awesome to have, guests come and meet them and stuff like that. But sometimes when you're coming off of a busy season and you just need a little bit of rest, it's okay, I think, to just take some time off. And I think the other piece with this job too is that because we live in a tourist destination, basically we don't stop from Memorial Day until the end of October when fall colors hit the ground. And so, I mean, last year we had like one day off, and it was my 30th birthday. And I don't know, it just wasn't sustainable at all. And then you hit November 1st, and then like reservations take a nosedive, and then you're like, oh, well, what do I do now? It's almost like it's so whiplashy. This job is so whiplashy where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm bringing in, 5 figures a month, and like, this is incredible from May to October. And then you're like, will I eat this month in January?
It's like 0 to 100, and the 100 is great.
Right.
Yeah. It's like feast or famine.
It is truly feast or famine.
And so you have to plan out how to keep the feast throughout the whole year.
Yeah. And so I think,
and not every place is going to be like that. Cause I feel like we've talked to people that have owned B&B on the East Coast.
Yeah.
It was like, we're busy year round, and like legit busy because they're like in a big city and they have people coming to stay year round.
Right.
Where like for us, it's literally like small town, March, Brown, barely anyone shows up.
Small town March Brown.
Yeah. It's March Madness around here.
Yeah, not in a good way. But yeah, I think learning to manage stress and also staying motivated can be kind of a challenge, I think, in both seasons, but for very different reasons.
Yeah.
In the wintertime, we lack motivation because we're like, well, nobody's here, and I don't know. But it does give us a good opportunity to like grow the podcast and grow, Instagram and share about what we do up here. And for us, we're also a nonprofit. So we work with survivors of human trafficking, and we put on weekend getaways focused on whole body health and wellness. So like our off season is a great time to host retreats. That way we can use the income from the summer to keep us afloat, and we can use the rest of the months for the ministry that we designed this place for. And so we still stay busy. Don't hear us in that
We
we are unmotivated in this time of
Yeah.
year. But I do think the whiplashiness of both seasons can really take a toll on innkeepers for sure.
Because it's really easy to get burned out in the extreme busy.
Right.
And then in the nothing to do, it's really easy to get like down in
Antsy.
the dumps, like seasonal depression, because you're like, I don't want to get up, But I think we're trying to have daily rhythms, much like back in COVID when everything was shut down. It was like, well, what do I do with my time? Because I realize I have a lot more time on my hands than
That's so
prior
true.
times, and I feel like daily rhythms really help us.
Yeah.
Like still get up early in the morning,
For
still
sure.
make coffee, like do things that like keep you going.
Also, going back to COVID too, I mean, here we are at the 5-year anniversary, and I still feel like, if you can call it that, an anniversary of the world shutting down. But I do feel like to some degree I remember, the whole joke about like the wearing sweatpants around the house and stuff like that. And like, I'll put on a dressy shirt for a Zoom call, but that's about it. I really do think even in this job, I've had to also learn that, because I think it's really easy when nobody's here at the inn to just be like, okay, I'm just going to stay in comfy clothes all day. But my attitude changes drastically when I actually get up, have that part of my rhythm. Also was once told that when you live where you work, sometimes it can be really hard to turn off work. I mean, I know Joel and I have struggled with this a lot of like, okay, well, we live at the bed and breakfast. I mean, we are literally in it with guests. And so we see laundry that needs to be done all the time. We see cracks in the walls that need to be, fixed. We see random projects that need to be done constantly. And so I think at least in the beginning of owning a bed and breakfast, it was like, okay, we're putting in 14, 15, 16-hour days every day going, one, this is not sustainable, but two, we can see all these things that need to be done, so we're just going to go. And sometimes you go through seasons like that, but also at the same time, one of the best pieces of advice I got was that at 5 o'clock, if I don't have anything else to do, why am I still working? Like, or even 6 o'clock. And so we have a pretty long driveway to get to our mailbox. And so she recommended, like, at 5 o'clock, feed the dog, because she gets fed right at 5 o'clock. And if she doesn't, she will tell us.
She was a tyrant.
And then, like, walk down to the mailbox as, like, a stop for the day. I'm getting fresh air in the process. I'm grabbing the mail or the trash can, on Thursdays or whatever. And so, but I think having something that signifies the end of your day, and then it can just be like, okay, yeah, it's family time. I'm going to go make dinner, or I'm going to be a normal mom. I'm going to be a normal,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, having like a set stop, I think is really important when you live where you work. And maybe that's you, maybe you're, doing some kind of remote job too, and you're having a hard time cutting it off at a certain time. Obviously projects need to be done, but also I think healthy rhythms and boundaries are really important, and no matter what work you're doing.
Totally.
But if you are an innkeeper and you're struggling with that turn off, maybe do something physical as the stop end to your day. But yeah, we're not perfect at this by any means. We're still
growing. We're
very
still
much
trying
learning
to figure it out.
a lot of this. We're still working on having true Sabbath. We have no idea what that looks like this summer. But we plan to kind of implement that a little bit this summer. So if you come and we say no to something, it's because we need rest just like everybody else in the world.
You're not a factory.
Yeah, exactly.
You're a person.
Yeah. And I think last summer we felt like we were a factory for sure.
Yeah. And we're on a journey with this. So maybe, in 6 months when we do episode 5, we'll share where we're at with keeping Sabbath.
Yeah. But if you have any ideas that you want to share, let us know.
Yeah. Always open to suggestions.
Absolutely.
We're not experts. We're just people trying to learn and share what we learn.
Yep.
Awesome.
Cool.
Well, this is a great little podcast.
Yeah. I hope you enjoyed it. We had fun making it.
Yeah. And we'll see you next time.
See you next time.